done it! It's dissect an alien, and it's gross! You take his insides out and put them back in. Too gross.
Yeah!
That's disgusting. He's a real slime bucket.
Hello and welcome back to the Good, the Bad and the Ugly Show. So I think it's time again to look at some weird action figures. So I picked up some strange ones recently. We got some bootlegs, we got some genuine ones, and we got some genuinely weird looking things. So let's get through this. Okay, so let's begin with a terrible bootleg. Here is Mr. Rambo himself. That's right. So, hello, John. Yeah, John Rambo. I mean, take a look at that face. Look at those eyes, man. That's amazing, isn't it? Amazingly bad. Nothing moves, so no articulation at all in this. The feet are all like weird, like socks. He's quite shiny. He's topless, because Rambo always goes topless. If you remember the cartoon, then the guy never puts a fucking shirt on. But anyhow, here he is. Look at his headband. Is basically they just painted a bit of his hair. Look at that. It's amazing, isn't it? The amount of quality and effort that went into creating this monstrosity. I love the paintwork. I love the figure. This is like reminiscent of an actual official Rambo figure that came out. So there was a cartoon of Rambo. It was ridiculous. Let's do a little history on here. There were some films. The first Rambo film was pretty good. Starring Sylvester Stallone, he played Rambo. The first film was called First Blood, and then they stuck in the Rambo title for the second one and onwards, and then they made a cartoon because everything had to have a cartoon in the 80s. That's kind of how things worked. Every cartoon had to have action figures. I mean, sometimes the action figures would come first, and then there'd be a cartoon. But we won't get into the whole politics and history of all this stuff right now. But here is, a terrible knockoff. So, the figures looked a bit like this, except their arms and legs moved and their heads moved, and they look nothing like this. So, there we go. Have we spent too much time on this figure already? Perhaps. I just love it. I think it's a ridiculous, silly thing. I found it at a market. I mean, these are the kind of things I found all throughout my youth. There were loads of, like, Action Man knockoffs and G.I. Joe knockoffs, and now it's kind of hard to tell, what was the real thing and what wasn't. I don't know, but I think it's a pretty good likeness for Stallone. He's better than that bloody Arnold Schwarzenegger figure we looked at last time. But I like his eyes, really. You can see a lot. You can see into the soul of a man through his eyes. So we'll move on. Next we'll go for something ugly, but genuine. Here is... That's right. This, it's a character from the well-loved American blockbuster movie from the summer of '89, based on an old DC comic book superhero. That's right, Dick Tracy. Actually, Dick Tracy came out in 1990, to be honest. I'm just messing with you here. You thought I was going to say Batman, but no, this isn't Batman. This is Dick Tracy. I think they tried to cash in on the idea that Batman was going to be big by thinking, well, we can do this with any superhero or any comic book hero. No, not really. Because superheroes are like superheroes. I mean, Dick Tracy is a detective, a bit like Batman was, but no fancy cape. This is a baddie from Dick Tracy. It's not Al Pacino. He played one of the villains in it. This is I can't remember his name now. Flat Top, I think he's called. I'm going to guess he's called Flat Top because you can do that. There. The person I bought this off was convinced it was a Marvel figure called Hammerhead, and no, I tried to convince him it was a Playmates figure, because you can see it's a Playmates figure, because it looks like one of the Turtles figures. They made the Dick Tracy figures, and he's got all his stuff. He's got his rope, he's got his bullet belt, and he's got his Tommy gun. My Tommy gun, see? Every gangster has to have one. Well, they did in the olden days anyway. They're pretty good figures. He's got like a knuckle duster in his back pocket as well. It's a pretty violent figure. They're pretty good though. It's quite freaky, innit? Look at that. And they all had makeup like this in the film. Like all the villains in the film looked like kind of weird freaks, man. It was great, actually. It wasn't. It was a terrible film, but the makeup was great. Or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Anyhow, Here he is. Yeah, he's a cool figure, I think. I mean, I'm kind of collecting these Dick Tracy figures. I don't really know why. It's like I have to do the opposite of what's right. So, you know, the right thing to do would be to probably collect the Batman 89 figures. I've got some of them as well. But I like these. Bad movies fascinate me, and and merchandise from bad movies, that also deeply interests me. I have a lot of Star Trek the Motion Picture stuff, toys, etc. Yeah, I like it. I like things that flop. Cut that. It looks like a bootleg, but it's not. There we go. So now we'll move on to something. We'll move on to something hideous next. We've got something ugly. Let's go to something hideous. Yeah, we've done a little bit about these kind of guys before, but here is the chicken leg man from the Food Fighters. It's gross, isn't it? It's like a bonehead. Bonehead he should have been called. I think he was called... he's called Sergeant Leg or something lame like that. I would have called him like I don't know, Corporal Bonehead or something like that. But he's got his backpack and his army hat. He needs a gun, really. He's got little holes for guns. And these are really weird figures. I mean, they're kind of like... I mean, they're not going to do much against G.I. Joe, are they? Or maybe they are. Maybe they'll scare the shit out of G.I. Joe, so they'll run away, and then whilst they're running away, these guys can shoot them. I guess that's how they operate. But how big would they be? Would they be the size of genuine food, so they'd be, like, tiny? Or are they giant, like giant bits of food garbage? I don't know. But I did a video a while back on the Food Fighters and the Grocery Gang. In fact, the Grocery Gang featured in the last Weird action figure video. So go back and watch all of those over and over and over again. But yeah, here he is. He's got a really hideous face. I love these. I think they're really gross and they're really cool. It's like it's art. These figures are art, man. No matter how you look at it. They're also like squidgy. They're like dog toys, really. They came out in about 1988, I think it was. I think it says that there. Yeah, and they're made by someone. Made by Mattel, who made like He-Man and all that stuff, I believe, if I'm remembering this right. But yeah, I mean, people kind of expected more, I think, because they're kind of like dog toys, as I say. But I think they're cool. And here's another one. Here is what's he called? He's an orange snow cone. Oh, Sergeant Scoop, I think he's called. But yeah, so there's another one of these made. There was a chocolate one, and this one's the rare one apparently because it's the variant, and there weren't many of these, and they're harder to get and stuff and things. He's not got a backpack though, but he's got a hat on. But yeah, there we go. There's a couple of Food Fighters there. Now these are really hard to get in England. I don't see these like ever. I mean, I see them on YouTube, and people somehow manage to buy them from somewhere. But maybe toy shows and things, perhaps, or conventions. I don't know. I don't seem to find them in the wild. You never see them in charity shops or in old toy markets and stuff. I think they were big in America, not very big in England. Yeah. So here they are in all their glory. Right. So now we'll move on to I don't know, whatever comes next. Here's a wrestler. He looks like one of those old timey. He looks like he should be like riding a penny farthing and drinking tea and stuff. He's kind of really odd, isn't he? He's got little hair there. He's got really disgusting arms that are dirty. Yeah, this is a bootleg. Definitely a bootleg. There were a lot of these kind of figures made. They were like wrestlers. There was even like a big wrestling ring you could put them all in if it's the same lot as those. Some are made by Sun Gold, I believe they were called. Others were made by sweatshops in others were made in Taiwan or places like that. A lot of them say made in Taiwan on them. But yeah, they're kind of rubbish. They might fall apart. They're badly made. He can't hold anything, look, because his hands are webbed. Furry pants. It's an old He-Man trait. Yeah, and a terrifying face. I love his expression though. It's a funny figure. I bought it in one of those like really cheap, like everything's 10p bin or something like that. But yeah, as long as I can have these in my life, I'll be a happy man. Okay, next we'll move on to does anybody remember Crash Dummies? I do. That's why I bought one. You press a button. Basically, these were like the dolls. There's a little thing on the back here. Look, there they are. Little stickers on them. This one's coming off. They were made in the late 80s, early 90s. They kept going, and then the company were taken over by, I can't remember who made these originally, but the company was taken over by Hot Wheels, and then they looked crap after that. I'm not interested in the Hot Wheel ones particularly, but this is Slick, and he's a slightly older one. Not a really old school one. The first ones looked amazing. They started to look a bit shit by this point with all the stars and the weird patterns and stuff on them. The original ones had like proper like little suits on. Press a button, yeah, and that happens. It's bloody weird, isn't it? Let's do that again from afar. I love it. I love the delay as well. The delay's really good, isn't it? Yeah, and their arms, you can see their arms come off, their legs come off. I'm not going to take them off because they might break and I'll never get it back on again. But the idea was you could strap these onto like torture beds and pull them apart. You could get like little cars you put them in. You'd ram the car into a wall and like everything would break. These would go flying through the windscreen and smash into pieces. And the air cushions would come out the car and stuff. It's all pretty grim, really, but really fun and cool to play with when you were a kid. When I first saw these things, they were available in a weird like model shop, the kind of model shop that sold like trains, like Hornby and Depot and all that stuff. You didn't see them in toy shops until a little bit later. And also there was a baby one, and there were like cats and dogs that would like go flat like they were roadkill. It was all really quite creepy. I can see why they don't exist anymore, but I think they were cool, man. They were like teaching you about safety. But actually, most of the kids who played with these were throwing themselves downstairs and jumping off of things because they wanted to be like crash dummies. So it had the opposite effect. So yeah, well done. But yeah, no, I think they're pretty cool. I mean, I like them. They've got holes in their feet. Figures have holes in their feet, they win for me. Like the Food Fighters have holes, you know. He doesn't. Yeah, and you can interchange and put them in stuff and do things like that. So next we'll move on. Speaking of holes in the feet, we'll move on to something that looks a bit like a G.I. Joe, but I know, well, I'm pretty sure it isn't. Here he is. He kind of skated on then, didn't he? Look at his skates. Isn't he cool? So his skates, they come off, look. They come off. I'll just take it off once. I don't want to break them. And they've got holes in their feet. So you could kind of, I guess you could put the skates onto the crash dummies and have skateboarding crash dummies. You could have a skateboarding Darth Vader, which would look pretty cool. Or, you know, any Star Wars character, or Spock, or whoever, you know, because he was in Star Wars. Yeah, any kind of small figure, you can put the skates on them and get them skating. I think it's a really cool thing. I think all figures like this should come with skates. No, maybe not. But he's cool. Remember the skateboarding My Little Ponies and Barbies and stuff as well, you know, that your sister had. Not you. But yeah, I like him. He's a funny figure, isn't he? He's from 1990, and somebody told me what they were, and I've completely forgotten. If you want to go and do some research, then go and do that. But it reminds me of like those kind of films, like Prayer for the Roller Boys and all that. If you remember that, with Corey Haim, and films like that. A lot of skateboarding films in the early, or skateboards, BMX, a lot of those kind of films in the early 90s. Yeah, I mean, he's blading, man. This is a rollerblading toy, and he can do all kinds of little like spins and poses on the shelf. He looks amazing. It actually helps him to stand up better than all the other figures as well. I'm not sure why that works, because if you put those on my feet, I ain't standing up. But yeah, interesting. And nevertheless, yeah, if I see more of these, I'll definitely buy them. And he's missing a thumb as well. I think he was hitchhiking one day, and well, I won't go into the rest of that. Message me if you want to get the rest of that story. No, don't really. But yeah, he's cool. His arms move. He's like a G.I. Joe, like I say, really. And he can skate. What more could you possibly want? So next we'll move on to, I don't know where to go from here. Should we go Trolls? Should we go into Trolls next? Maybe Trolls could be fun, couldn't they? Unless they look like this. So yeah, this again is like a dog toy. It's like, it sits in 2 bits, like nothing moves apart from that, which probably comes apart and pisses you off. Who made these horrible things? Hasbro. Wow, Hasbro. I am surprised at you. I'm not surprised at you at all. 1992. Yeah. So boys started getting interested in Trolls. I mean, you know, you might pull me up here for being sexist, but it was like that in those days. There were boys' toys, there were girls' toys, and people were very, very funny about it. Like, boys would get bullied mercilessly. They got caught playing with, like, My Little Ponies and stuff. It was that kind of world back then. So, girls played with Trolls, really. They were more girl toys. I like them, though, but, you know, that's just me. And, yeah, they thought, let's attack the boy market with these. So they made these. His hair's disgusting, isn't it? But yeah, this is, I think, is there were battle trolls, there were troll warriors, and there were stone protectors, and I can't really decipher between them, really. I like his eye, though. He's still got the troll eye and the troll hair. That's really the only thing this has in common with a troll, is the hair and the eyeball. There's really nothing else. I mean, I don't know. But look at him. Isn't he wonderful? Is he? And then we have this, which is like even more hideous. Get out the way! Even more hideous. Look at his face. Eee. Hiding under a bridge. Like a proper troll. This one's much better as a figure. I mean, his arms and legs move. That's why he's much better. Even his head moves as well. He's got the hair again. He's got a piercing like all good trolls would have. And he's in some kind of weird sort of S&M kind of bondage outfit. He's a sort of he's a gimp troll, I guess. I'm not sure why that is or why that's a thing. Is this who made this? Oh, Tycho, 1992. So Tycho and Hasbro, they were like fighting over the trolls. So they made different types by different companies. How weird. So the troll universe, how many companies have made trolls altogether? You have the standard ones and all the other kinds. I've got a couple of old original ones downstairs. One really hideous kind of new one. Yeah, interesting history. I've got some tiny ones as well. Interesting history here. Yeah, I don't know though. I mean, I like the way he's kind of stopping you. Like, no, wait. Got any idea, mate? Yeah, he's not gonna let you in the club. And to be honest, do you really want to go into that club? Yes, I do. That's the answer to that. I'm going to stop playing with them now and get on with the video. So, yeah, trolls. Next, we're going to go Star Wars next. Why not? And Star Wars, we're not going to go official Star Wars. We're going to go like bootleg, crappy Star Wars. Here is Darth Vader, and I don't know what the blue is all about. That's left over from that, isn't it? They went, oops. Fuck it, no one cares. The kids who play with these are too poor to get good toys. So these were like Galaxy Warriors, I think they were called, or something along those lines. I don't know. Tell me in the comments if I'm right. Or actually, don't. I can just go and look it up later on. These brown and gold. Brown with gold shoulder pads and white eyes. Because if you remember Darth Vader, he wasn't those things. He's got the cool thing there. It's a Power of the Force figure. It's exactly the same as the Power of the Force figures. It's just bigger and they painted it the wrong colours. That's basically what's happened here. Nothing on the feet, I don't think. Oh no, there is. What does it say? Made in China. Wasn't expecting that. And yeah, that's about it. He did have a cloak, a plastic cloak, starchy cloak that went on him, but I don't know what happened to that. This figure I had years ago. I actually bought this when I was back as a child buying figures sometime in the mid-90s, I guess, about 95, 96, I think these came out, about the same time as the other ones came out, because these are copying the other ones, so it must have been that way. But yeah, weird, right? I don't understand why you do this with Darth Vader, but why not? I mean, you could paint them all colours, couldn't you? You could paint like a red and green one for Christmas, or St. Patrick's Day, or something. Paint an all gold one, just go crazy with it. If I get the moulds, I would make many. But yeah, look at that. I don't know. Let's go into the next one. I only have two of these, because this one I had to buy because of like, what the fuckness about this. Okay, I like his little nose and his face. It's definitely Chewbacca. Chewbacca's got a mullet. I always thought Chewbacca needs a mullet. I always thought that was the thing missing from Chewbacca was a mullet. Got a weird like Star Trek sign on his chest. Probably not deliberately. Yeah, he's cyborg or something. I think that's what's going on here. Like a kind of weird cyberpunk Chewbacca, 80s looking Chewbacca. I don't really get it. Yeah, that's the colour they should have painted him. But yeah, they went for the grey and the brown, and the brown crutch. Why the brown crutch? Why the purple bit here? I think what this is loosely based on is Star Wars canon. I think it was Shadow of the Empire. I might be getting all of this wrong because I'm not that big a Star Wars fan. I mean, I am a Star Wars fan, but I'm not that big a nerd. I don't know all the everything stuff about it. Or I don't know all the everything stuff. Yeah, I think Shadow of the Empire, there was a character who was a Wookiee, but also a bounty hunter who was trying to get hold of Luke for like, and for Darth Vader or somebody, I don't know. But I think that's based on that character. Oh, and a similar character has turned up in The Mandalorian recently, which is probably that same character. I don't know, because I wasn't sure if this stuff is canon anymore, because Disney took it over and wiped everything else off the slate. and replaced it all with terrible stories that don't really make sense. I might get shot down in the comments for that, for Mark. I don't know. People might agree. But I liked all the comics. I remember all the comics and the books of Star Wars back in the 90s, the ones that kind of were set to go in between the films and after and before. And I think they were better than what we've got from Disney recently. Disney? What we've got from them recently. I think yeah, I'm going to stop now anyway. But here he is. He's Chewbacca, and he's not quite Chewbacca. And he can be friends with not quite Darth Vader, and they can rule the galaxy together. And we'll, and right. Next ones. Okay, we're going to move on to something I think is pretty cool. Going to move on to something that I think is pretty cool now. Mego. We had some Mego figures in the last video. I like talking about them. I like playing with them and looking at them. So here's another Mego figure. This was given to me very kindly by someone recently. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that bloody cool? It's a Mego pyramid. It says Mego on here somewhere. Somewhere it says Mego. Oh yeah, right at the bottom there, look. Right at the bottom, like, focus in. Mego 1977. Yeah. It's the Egyptian, I can't remember his name now. I'm rubbish with my ancient Egypt. All I know is I don't know, pyramids and stuff. But that's cool. Ancient history is cool. But yeah, it's he opens up. Let's open him up. Jump cut. So I managed to prize him out. Oh, dun-dun. That's terrifying, isn't it? So, look, that's the man who is inside. A bit of his paint's coming away. He's a very old figure, and he's very, 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 very delicate. Let's try and get him off. So he clips on by this. He is a time-travelling, he must be a robot. If that's supposed to be a person, then I don't know what they're thinking there. Look how thin the wrists are. These figures were, designed to break, weren't they? And this was broken, actually. I had to take him apart, screw by screw, and find him a new band to keep his legs on, because the old one had just rotted away over the years. But yeah, so that's probably why these things are so hard to get, because Mego figures weren't really that well made. I mean, I like them, and they're pretty cool, but to say they're flimsy at the least, I mean, I don't know, delicate. I guess kids were just more delicate with stuff back then. I don't know. Kids wouldn't last a day in my child's hands, and she's not even that she's not even that clumsy with stuff, really. These are just so fragile, aren't they? But he's cool though. So he's a Micronaut. These are called Micronauts. And there was a whole line of them, and they came out around, just before Star Wars figures came out, I guess. And they did really well out of that, because these were all in the shops when Star Wars was just a promise. So people bought a lot of these figures because they thought they could play with them with the Star Wars figures later, because they're around the same size. You see, these are the same size as your kind of maybe a little bit smaller than this guy. Oh no, minus the skates, yeah, about the same size. But yeah, crazy weird figures there. I think this is the crazy weirdest of all. What I like about it though, there's cool little bits you don't really notice, like that little bit there. But what I like about these, he's a time traveller. It's kind of like a TARDIS. He gets in, he'd be a good baddie for your Doctor Who. If you go and get your Doctor Who Dapole and play with them alongside, here you go. But he goes in his little weird TARDIS, don't know how to call it that, time machine travelling box, which is an Egyptian thingamajig. And he travels through time and space, just like Doctor Who. It's a cool thing. I think it's cool anyway. I think so. These things are worth loads of money now. I've looked them up, and you don't really find them. Not in this country anyway. I suppose in America you probably get them in thrift stores fairly more often, but not around here. No way. Next we have, actually talking of all things Doctor Who and Dapole, let's bring one on. We have one right here. Look at him. Isn't he brilliant? He is what were they called again? Temporarily, I can't remember the name of them. It might come to me in a bit. I mean, I bloody know. I like Doctor Who, and I've been watching it since I was a child. But right now, while making this video, the name has escaped me. But Saurine. No, that's a bar of raisins in it, isn't it? Santorin? I don't know, some fucking thing like that. Anyway, let's have a look at him. He's got little knees that bend way too low down. He looks alright with his mask on. You take his mask off, of course, and what the fucking hell is going on here? His neck his neck. That doesn't make sense, does it? They should have made this thing smaller and lower down, and then that might have made sense. But now he's got a giant long head. I don't understand it. But yeah, he looks like he's made out of plasticine as well, doesn't he? Look at that face. Look at that face. This is not one of the best Dapol figures, and there were some pretty bad Dapol figures, but this one kind of takes a piss again a little bit. The Sea Devil was amazing. I have that now. But this, nah, look at it. Bloody ridiculous, isn't it? And the new ones are played by Mike from the young ones, but people have mentioned that in other videos, I think. But yeah, look at that. Look at that. Not quite right, is it? The eyes do actually match up. Yeah, Dapol. I did a whole video about Dapol. Go and have a look at that. See what you think. So next we'll bring on what we have here is a Battle Beast. That's right, Battle Beasts. These were a toy line in the late 80s, early 90s, if I'm right. I don't know if I'm right or not. Made by these were late 80s, early 90s, because I remember playing with these when I was very, very young. They had these little hologrammy things here. This is kind of worn away a bit, but different star signs of... signs of the elements. So this was water, I believe, because he is a killer carp, if you can believe that. And there were different ones. They were like fire, water, air, and all that. It was another little kind of thing to go alongside your Monster in Me Pocket and Muscle Men and all those kind of things. I had like a sort of Terrapin one years ago that I liked. I found this in a charity shop recently, very, very cheap. You got to know these things, haven't you? Because you could think... You can't blame a shop for thinking this is a crappy modern thing and there's loads of them, but no, this is an older thing and a rarer thing, and people kind of want these now. And those people include me, so I got it. But yeah, they're fun things, and I never really see them much. That's why I was quite surprised to see this. I like to build an army of them, and then have no idea what to do with them. So we'll move on next. We'll move on to some He-Man, because inevitably it always goes in that direction, doesn't it? Bloody He-Man. Always ends up with bloody He-Man. Here is The Faker. So I recently did a video where I went to the toy show, the toy fair in Matford in Exeter. And they're really good. I recommend those. If you're into your collecting toys and you live near Devon, or you can get to Devon, then go to the Matford one. You can look it up. Bulldog Fairs, I believe they're called. Yeah, and I make videos on them when I go to them because they're fun. And here is something I bought from the last one. He's not in the best condition, but he's not in the worst either. He's still got his legs. That's what's important. Even though one of them is a bit weird. But yeah, he's the Faker. So he's the fake He-Man made by Skeletor, I believe. He's the blue He-Man with the orange thing on. And for some reason, these became really rare. Like, people really... I don't know why. Like, did people just not buy them? Or did people buy too many of them? Or did they all get blown up? I don't know. But for some reason, they've become, like, rarer ones than others. I think maybe they were made a little bit later. I don't know. I thought this was quite an early one. I'm not too sure. Very confused about He-Man. There's lots of He-Man, and lots of them are worth loads of money. Some of them aren't worth that much money, and they're the easier ones to find. This one, though, yeah, he's blue. We'll move on. We'll move on to this person who's also, half blue. This one is bought him recently from a cool toy shop called Final Frontier, which is in Plymouth. Go and visit that if you're near Plymouth. There's also one in Exeter as well. But yeah, he's called Too Bad, I believe, and he can beat himself up all day long. I think he did argue with himself a lot. Weird figure, isn't it? This is a later figure in the He-Man line, because they started in 81. This is 84. I think they finished in 85. So I think. Or was it 87? I don't know. They finished at some point in the 80s. But yeah, I think he's kind of a cool figure. I've always wanted this one. I never had this one as a kid, so I thought, right, now I'm an adult, I shouldn't be buying toys. Boom! But yeah, I thought I'd collect it anyway. They're pretty cool. It's a cool thing. It's a weird thing. And that's why I like it. So where to go next? I guess we'll save something pretty cool and weird till last, and we'll go for something a bit odd next, I guess. But yeah, this guy here, I mean, I'm not really sure. Kind of like they were official toys, because they're made by a fairly reputable company, I believe. But they just seemed like weird knockoffs of something else. He is, of course, a supernatural. Now, if we can get like his, if we can see his hologram, I don't think we can. It's like a weird ghost. It starts off as a kind of weird, like sort of weird monk thing. It turns into a ghost. You can't really see it though. It's not really showing up on camera. Oh well, I mean, go and look them up online. You can probably see other videos where you can actually see what the hologram looks like in them. Yeah, kind of getting it very slightly. There we go. Look, yeah, but the bloody weird things. He comes out of his cloak thing. I mean, what is that? It's odd, isn't it? It's an odd thing. It's a hologram in a bit of plastic. Really, there's no other nicer way of saying it, really. And yeah, he comes with this plastic cape with arms, and he clips onto it. And yeah, they used to sell these as they were in boxes. They also sold them with the bigger figures, I think, because they made full-size figures with legs, and they were the same though. They had this whole bit was just a hologram. There's a pirate one, and he was like a pirate, and you turn him, and he turns into like a skeleton. They all turn into weird supernatural things. That's the whole kind of point in them. But for me, they seem like kind of knockoffs of like visionaries, and I always thought these were visionaries when I was a kid because I didn't have any visionaries, and I thought, oh yeah, that's probably what that is. But they were made by is that Tommy? No, Tonka Toys. Corgi. No, Corgi. No, Tonka Toys. Okay, the people who made the big clunky vans and all that stuff. Like, why do they make these? Odd. I don't get it. But yeah, for some reason they did that to compete with other hologram figures that they weren't selling. I don't know, man. But I found this in a box of items, all like 50p each, and I couldn't resist it because I mean, unlike a lot of other people who were there, I knew what this was. I remembered it. And that's the important thing. Memory. Yeah, but anyhow, it's a weird thing, isn't it? So, yeah, look at that. And now we'll move on. Finally, we're going to finish today with something, something cool, actually. There's no word to describe it than cool. Here he is. He is a... I'll just move some of these ones out of the way a minute. He's a skeleton warrior, I think they were called. He's got long arms. Look at the bracelets around his arms. Really fucking well made, I think. Look at the spine on that. The detail on these is just superb. I really think so. I really like these. There were loads of these as well, loads of different kinds. There were like... some of them gave off a real like Army of Darkness vibe about them. I know they were kind of like, I think they were kind of like inspired by like that and like Jason the Argonauts and stuff. Just skeleton, horrible looking bony skeleton things. Kind of similar to like the Spawn figures because they were kind of gross and really detailed as well. This is like a step above, I think, for kids' toys. Used to get these in places like, I think Tesco's. I think I bought some in Tesco's years and years ago, and I can't remember who made these. I think they're made by Playmates. Personally, is there? I can't find anything on it. I can't see any like writing, but I think they're made by Playmates or somebody like that. Anyway, but yeah, just really cool. Hang on, let's get in focus. Yeah, look at that. What you looking at? He's got an eye patch, golden eye. Nasty teeth, like me. Yeah, and that hat doesn't come off, I don't think, unless I discover it does and then break it. No, it doesn't. But yeah, no, it's a cool thing. He's got really long arms. I don't really get why his arms are so long. He's like a sort of weird kind of like primate, like a weird like monkey man, but and hunched as well. But yeah, just grim and cool. You know, I'll stick some more pictures up, I guess. But yeah, go and hunt these things down. They're pretty damn cool. I think they're becoming like collectible as well, because everything's becoming collectible now. There's no escaping it. Like any toy that existed before the year 2000 is now a sought-after item by kind of weird people like me, I guess. But yeah, it's one of those things. So yeah, that's been another toy video for you there. Collectible, weird, wonderful toys. Some good, some bad, some ugly, and some just damn right, I don't know, offensive. So yeah, anyway, get out there and enjoy some of the sunshine and stuff. Oh, also, please do subscribe to the channel and all that stuff. I mean, don't if you don't want to, but you know, but do anyway. Please like, share, and subscribe to The Good, the Bad, and The Ugly Show.
Because there's no room left in hell.
Fine, thank you.
What's your story?
Well, I'm in young girls' pants. I manufacture pants.
Oh, what filth.
Why don't you prove it now?
I don't feel that there's any great interest in it. Clearly, you must have felt the world wanted to know what your private parts looked like And now the world knows.
Suggesting dummies! Dummies!
A consonant, please, Carol.
C.
A vowel.
That is E.
Another vowel.
Another vowel. I.
Consonant.